If you were in any way into anime in the 2000s, you could not avoid them, known for dubbing such animes as One Piece, Pokemon, Tokyo Mew Mew, and oh, I can't forget you, Yu-Gi-Oh! 4Kids has gone down in infamy, and they're still getting memed on even today. Yeah, I know you just want to see me talk about the countless controversies and censorships 4Kids has been involved in, and hey, I will obviously be getting into that. But if you want to see a grown man yell about how a cartoon show was censored, you can just watch these great, excellent videos from 2009. I'm pretty sure these were recorded on potatoes in an insane asylum, but still, quality.
The 4Kids we now think of didn't actually really exist till April 1st, 1997, when the first dubbed episodes of Pokemon debuted in the West. And it cannot be understated just how much this put them on the map, literally catapulting them into stardom overnight. Although the earliest interpretation of 4Kids can actually be dated back all the way to 1970. Yeah, insane, right? It was actually founded by Mike Jermakian and Stan Weston. And if you don't know who they are, well, I didn't either before this. Well, one of them actually worked on Thundercats and the other one worked on G.I. Joe. And those were pretty big in the 80s, so it's not like just two random people started this. The company was actually initially founded as Leisure Concepts LLC, which somehow sounds a little less fun than 4Kids. Pre-90s, this was almost a completely different company. And hey, maybe I wouldn't be talking about this era if not for this.
Really rad. Those creatures from Guyana are pretty bad. Octoroks, Tech-Types, Levers too. But with your help, our hero pulls through. Yeah, go Link, yeah, get some. Awesome. Intense.
The Nintendo Entertainment System. Your parents help you hook it up. The Legend of Zelda sold separate.
Yeah, now I'm kinda glad I didn't grow up in the 80s. Yeah, but 4Kids used to make, ads for, Nintendo back in the day, back in, the 80s and stuff. And that's the era which this gem comes from. I think it's funny that Pokemon both was the start and the end of an era for 4Kids. As in 2006, when the Pokemon anime was yielding diminishing returns, and don't get me wrong, the anime wasn't going anywhere, it's not like it was failing, but it wasn't making as much money as it used to, and so the Pokemon company in America decided that they were going to do the dubbing in-house and therefore cut 4Kids out of the picture when their contract was up. And this is what ultimately led to the downfall of 4Kids. See, 4Kids didn't have really anything to take the place that Pokemon once held in pop culture and within their company. Even at the time, 4Kids was still dubbing anime and producing cartoons like the Ninja Turtles. But, funny enough, they were also dubbing Russian shows and Italian shows. Yes, Winx Club is Italian, and the same guy who made that made Huntic, which is really cool now that I think about it. I think that something that people ultimately don't seem to understand is the reason that 4Kids went bankrupt had very little to do with them choosing to censor anime, and I use that word choosing because they didn't really have a choice. 4Kids had to follow laws that were put in place by the FCC, and they really didn't have a choice in the matter. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't show certain things. Besides, do you really think that most parents would be okay with their kids watching this? And hey, I could almost let them pass begrudgingly with the cultural censorship in the early days, see it as dubbing anime was kind of new. And I say the early days. I don't know why they were doing this up until the 2010s.
Say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Yeah, this is the part where I talk about the foxbox, the block that predated the CW 4Kids. And here's the thing, I am strangely nostalgic about this, because I don't actually remember the block that much, but what I do remember is that the channel changing from Fox 25 to the CW 4Kids. And I remember this just really confusing me as a kid, because I was just super confused because it had all the same shows, but now it was on a completely different channel. The Foxbox actually debuted in 2002 with shows like TMNT, Kirby Right Back at Ya, Ultraman, and Fighting Futons. The block was already a success, but when a little show you may have heard of hit the airwaves, it almost single-handedly justified keeping this block. Yup, it cannot be understated just how big this was. If anything ever got close to capturing the hype that 4Kids once had with Pokemania, it was this. Sonic X was the biggest success on the network, along with all these other shows I'm not even gonna get into. And this relative success for 4Kids lasted up until 2008 when Fox announced that it was gonna cut its 4-hour period because it no longer saw children's programming as viable. And this is what ultimately ushers us into the 4Kids TV CW 4Kids Toonzai era, which is the era that I care about the most anyway, and it would take me a long time to say everything I want to about those eras. And so I'm going to do a sequel video in which I will discuss all those eras, and I'll go more in depth into my opinions on this whole thing and the shows that came out of those eras. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, subscribe so you can be the first one to see part 2. Yeah, so this video is actually supposed to come out like 3 days ago, and I couldn't upload it. I tried twice and it wouldn't let me, and apparently it was because I had Pokemon footage in the background. Like, I swear to God, Nintendo's copyright system is insane. Either way, I had to re-edit and reshuffle a whole bunch of stuff in this video, so if it looks a little weird or the audio is kind of strange, I'm sorry. That's just what had to happen. Hopefully I won't run into this problem for part 2.
That's no good.